guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to your reading for the North Node in Cancer, South Node in Capricorn. I think that this is probably one of the most important readings of the year. Actually, it covers the period between November 2018 and May 2020, so it's about a year and a half. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys use the information in here to lead a good life. The North Node has to do with the direction that you're going in life, spiritually speaking, your personal development, consciousness development kind of stuff. And the South Node is what you are releasing from past lives and past experiences, okay? So let's take a look at your oracle card to start, and we have the Parrot Spirit. Watch your words. Okay. That's quite a warning, but I do like my parrots. So let's find out what's going on with that. Let's find out what sign we're reading for. And as I do that, can you guys please like and comment? I thought it was Cancer. Geez. Okay, let's do this, Cancer. Come on. I don't think it's going to be that weird of a transit. Well, the North Node is in Cancer, and I had this in my sign in Virgo 2 years ago, so I have some insights for you on that. Today we're going to do like a rotating wheel, which I'm excited about. You guys know I love my animations. so here we go. This is the January 1st right now, or January 3rd, and we're taking a look at the whole year from the 3rd to December. But we're going to be focusing on the North Node in Cancer. That's your sign, right? And then we have the South Node in Capricorn. This reading is for you if you're a Sun, Moon, or Rising Cancer. Even if your Mars or Venus, like me, is in Cancer, then that will also help you get prioritized, especially in relationships. So I have Venus in Cancer, so someone like me would really, or Moon in Cancer, would really benefit from watching this video. So let's talk about what the North Node is and what the South Node is and how it relates to your life. We'll pull some cards and then we'll do an extended on Vimeo. How about that? That's linked in the description. It's called Timeless Karma Playlist because this is kind of a karmic reading. So what is the South Node? The South Node is past lives, past energies you are releasing. The North Node is your compass point of which way to go. I want to point something out before we get into the South Node, that there's not much around Cancer at this time. Cancer's out on its own. All the transits from this area of the chart are on this side of the chart, so Cancer, the North Node, the weight of the magnet is quite weak, and so what we're going to try to do is look for times like this when the Moon is in Cancer, or people who have heavy transits in Cancer. You guys are really the anchors and the signal posts of where we're supposed to go. And I think that this is where this kind of came to my mind, that this could be Cancer. Watch your words can mean that you are setting the precedent for everybody, and in some way, believe it or not, we all are relying on you to pull us in this direction. Whether you're Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, Cancer, we need your pull here, okay? But let's talk about the South Node, and this is a common conversation with Cancers. We know this, right? The 7th house is your partnership house. This is where the South Node has ended up, and this has to do with releasing those pattern shifts that we talked about. So releasing patterns within relationships that are in some way not working for us, or reinforcing patterns in relationships that are good for us. Pluto and Saturn and South Node are like the trifecta of karma in the chart. Saturn is the karma that you build up with your actions in this lifetime. South Node has to do with the past lives. So in some way it's your actions, but in some way it's usually correlated to karmic situations from the past. And then Pluto represents universal karma. So it's the big, like, wild card. Essentially, it breaks down the probability of any type of experience because Pluto supersedes all logic and all reason from our vantage point as human beings. So it represents karma that works on a much higher level than humans can conceptualize or even understand. So because it's here in this point, it's going to be a wild ride no matter where this is in your chart. However, for Cancer, I've said this many times, Pluto in the 7th house is one of the most difficult and challenging transits that any sign has at this time. Not only does it take forever to get through this area, so you've had this already for 7 years or so, and will continue to have it for 7 more years in your 7th house, but also it's grueling, but it's also this extremes, highs and lows in partnership, power dynamics, all those things are thrown in. So in other words, take a load off, don't feel so bad about things, and take it with a grain of sand. And I know that's easier said than done, but extreme partnership issues will come up over this time period. You are going to be stretched, and you have been stretched, and you will continue to be challenged, but that only helps you to rise to the surface and become a stronger person, to reinforce the things that you value. Some of these things that come through are miracles too, so don't get down on this energy and say, oh, you know, well, Pluto's there, so my love life is going down the drain. No, in fact, you could meet somebody who is way beyond your scope, or way beyond your level, or the probability of meeting such a perfect match is so low, and yet it happens with such transits. So many of you are going to have amazing experiences with this as well. So, oh, wait, no, we want to, oh, not yet. I'm going to pause the video now because I want to talk about the North Node. Because right here, as I said, you can see the North Node with Mars and Mercury and the Sun coming in and Venus coming in. So this is the period between June and July. That is when you are going to have more energy to reinforce your planet or your aspect in this area of the chart. So you will have more energy behind you to actually pull in the compass point. You know, this is the compass point of which way you want to go. So through June and July this year, all of us are going to have more momentum to move forward with the things that we want. However, there's eclipses here. There's the solar eclipse that happens on the 2nd of July. We have Mercury retrograde in Cancer between the 7th and the 31st of July. And then there's going to be a full moon lunar eclipse here in July 16th, sorry. So that's going to eclipse out. So if we're looking at for you, this really means partnership, right? We have an eclipse in January in Capricorn, and it's a lunar eclipse, it's a solar eclipse initiating patternship, relationship patterns. I'm going to be like somewhere at a store and talking, and I'll be like, patternship, and they'll be like, what are you talking about? I know I'm going to drop that somewhere. Anyway, so we have solar eclipse in Capricorn at the beginning of the year. Then there's a lunar eclipse mid-year in July 16th. So that's going to be the catharsis of everything in the first half of the year. And then for you in the second half of the year, there's going to be a second solar eclipse in Capricorn on December 26th. So this year starts and ends with eclipses, with a lunar eclipse kind of separating the two sides of the year between each other. And for you, that's very significant because that is going to be a time in your life in which you are going to go through pretty momentous partnership challenges, not challenges, transformation. So really listen to the lessons that you're hearing at the beginning of 2019, or if you're watching later, reflect on those lessons that you've had. And then when you're heading through into July, actively participate in the eradication of unhealthy patternships, unhealthy relationships, and the reinforcement of positive ones, right? And then head off to the end of the year between July and December towards preparing yourself for Jupiter entering into Capricorn at the end of the year and beginning this kind of huge answer to everything. So this could be within your partnership, or if you're single, this could be you meandering around different topics of relationships. Heck, some of you guys might actually open up, or not open up, I don't want to be too prejudicial when I say this, but some of you guys might switch preferences, you know, in terms of sexual orientation. That could happen, and it could happen because I do believe that people are born the way they are, but it could happen through any kind of blockages you're experiencing. It could be freeing yourself up, and congratulations if you're that person. Let me be the first person to congratulate you on those choices. So this is going to be an energy that helps you you, and especially for those of you, those people who have the most significant barriers in their partnership issues, that's going to allow for the greatest opening, you know, the greatest healing for you. So Cancer, in some way, this Pluto thing is really scary. I know I'm talking your ear off, but I really want to stress that it's really, really healthy, and it's really, really important. And those of you who have the most repressed or the most challenged experiences of partnerships, both in business and in romance, you're going to have this opportunity to really clear that energy out. So some of it's going to be messy, you know, but if it's messy, you just have to have forgiveness, and just remember, watch your words, you know. Whenever you're going through like deep work, you know, if you go to an ashram, oftentimes there are ashrams in which you don't speak at all for weeks. And, you know, when you go through a deep process, meditative process, that can actually be kind of awkward when you have to talk to people during it, right? So it's like a peaceful thing to watch your words. Be careful, be selective, and don't judge yourself for the things you're going through. Allow the process to come through you. We'll talk about Cancer North Node next, but now let's pick some cards for the South Node. So you have the Tower. Boom. You heard me shuffling. At this point, I don't even care. We have the Queen of Pentacles, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Hey girl, hey. And then we have the Death card. This is the card of Scorpio. And this is the Hanged Man. Wow. Holy moly. I told you it's big. By the way, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto right there. And the Tower is ruled by Mars, which also rules Scorpio. So there could be a lot of Scorpio energy. The Hanged Man represents that there is some kind of circumstance in which you're really caught up in. So if you watch the Virgo reading, and especially if you get the whole package for the Timeless Karma, I'm just going to take my time with this reading. I apologize if you guys don't like this. I'll do better next time to be succinct, but I feel like it's necessary to sit with you guys with this energy, because I do think you're the sign that is one of the most impacted by this transit. Also, I feel, we'll get into this, but I think you're the most important sign for the next 16 months from my human rights perspective, from like the things that I care about in the world. I think that you are the leader. You are the person who is supposed to set the not expectation, but the standard for all of us. So this is really good news. But let's get through this first, because we have massive cards. And I think that these things are very important to acknowledge. The Queen of Pentacles. I'm a Queen of Pentacles sometimes. I'm more of a King of Pentacles. I come up in tarot more as like a Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, King of Pentacles. But it's because I have like more masculine planets in Virgo. But anyway, but the Queen of Pentacles, I do understand. My mom's a Virgo too. Queen of Pentacles represents a person who has very strong boundaries. And so what is the theme? I've been doing Cancer readings for a really long time, right? And I've been really thinking about for you guys, what does Pluto actually really mean? I've actually spent a lot of time meditating on it, what it means for Cancers, because I'm so sympathetic. And isn't it all about personal boundaries, about what's right and what's wrong, and about finding the common space between being warm-hearted and being warm-hearted for yourself, and self-respect and confidence. Okay, so I feel like a situation, the Tower can represent that there's an unpacking of a situation that is really looking at, to me, the Tower represents a realistic look at life. It's Mars, right? And when is Mars going to be in Capricorn? I'm thinking at the end of the year. Is that right? Where's Mars? Is this Mars? No, that's Jupiter. Where is Mars? Mars is in Pisces. So yeah, probably at the end of the year, Mars will be in Capricorn, maybe January 2020. And so your time frame for this is maybe at the beginning of the year, Mars was there as well. I don't remember. Mars is in Pisces. No, Mars starts the year off in Pisces and then ends in Aries, sorry. And then, okay. So yeah, Mars will be around Capricorn-ish. heading to Capricorn for 2020. That's going to be the massive conjunction between Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in 2020. That's correct. So this card, the Tower, is ruled by Mars, right? And so that's why I was trying to figure out when for a time frame for this. But I don't think that this is what it's talking about. I think amid a lot of chaos, there's like a voice of reason slash expectation reminding you about your personal boundaries. And I think that maybe the Tower was caused by this. This does not have to be a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, man or a woman. But I do feel as though there is this kind of, amid a lot of chaos, there's this voice of personal boundaries articulating exactly, you know, where you end and where the other person begins. And I think you find yourself in this space, karmically even, because there have been people who have in a certain way destroyed your personal boundaries. So it's almost like when you start tripping, sometimes other people will push you down until you start falling over. You know the perpetual, it's like more of a 30s film joke in which when a person's starts to stumble, everybody ignores and just pushes them along until they're falling on the ground. It's that kind of energy. So a situation had completely mixed you up, and then you ended up in this kind of space and face to face with someone who, if anything, was probably more restrictive of change in any direction. How do you say this? This person restricts what is appropriate so that this does not happen. So this person says, this is my boundary, this is the things I'll take care of, and I'll take care of them well so as to avoid this kind of crapshoot to happen in my life. And so I've been in this situation. In 2005, I had this circumstance in which I was exposed to a really, really bad human being. And I was like, I got shoved around, pushed around from one thing to another. It messed with my head, it messed with my emotions. And then I came face to face with someone like this. And she was minding her business. She ended up being my roommate for a little bit. And it was that calm. It was that calm amid the storm of a lot of different changes. And yeah, it was just, I didn't have a lot of exposure with her, but she's an engineer, by the way, and so a chemical engineer. And so when I had that moment, she sticks out in my mind to this day as this calmness, and she was very chill and very nice and like a good person, a nice person. And so I feel as though this ends the Tower circumstance. So whatever the Tower moment has been for you that has had you tumbling, this moment of tranquility will in some way help you end the chaos, right? This could be a Scorpio, but this to me is energetic. And so I feel as though this leaves you in a predicament, the Hanged Man. You're meant to just kind of sit there and think about, it's like, whoa, it stops the Tower. She stops the Tower and essentially puts an end to the chaos, and you sit there kind of dumbfounded, like, what the heck happened in my life? So this happens with the South Node in Capricorn. And this could be not a person, it could be a general energy, but it feels very on point with what happened to me in 2005, and very similar kind of vibes. I can pick up on it very clearly. So that's what I think is happening to you, or has been happening to you, and you're somewhere in this process. There was the Venus retrograde, right, and Scorpio and Libra, and then boom, change of Venus to direct, change of node from Aquarius to Capricorn, change of North Node from Leo to Cancer, Mercury retrograde, in Sagittarius. That was all within a couple days, and that was what happened. It was a turmoil, and you're kind of sitting there. It's you know, it's that whole Planet of the Apes thing. Like, you're sitting there on the beach, or you're like, you wash up on shore and you're like, oh man, where am I? Like, it's this kind of dystopic place, coming out from a bunker underneath the ground to look at the barren wasteland after some kind of nuclear holocaust, kind of dystopic energy. So anyway, so you're just, it's that moment of pause, and that's gonna kind of repeat in and of itself, like a turbine in your life, Cancer. It's going to repeat in your life, and I think that that's going to be the sorry, let's clarify, because I get metaphorical and then I don't explain my metaphors. I get it from my dad, who's a Gemini, and he makes these jokes that nobody understands. Even I don't understand, but we kind of get them more, because he says all these metaphors that are so left field. It makes sense in his head, but he's not really good at making that connection. I do that as well. So anyway, so what that turbine that I was talking about means is that there's a lot of karmic stuff here. There's what you've done to other people, and not good or bad. This is just karma, right? We're not judging. And the South Node is past karma, right? Past life karma, some chaos event, right? Some massive chaos event that happened in a past life. And this is the wild card. This is why it's, remember to let go of guilt, let go of shame in the situation, because Pluto here really means that it's a wild card. It's not necessarily your stuff. It's important to maintain awareness of where you end and where others begin. That's Saturn and the South Node, great point of healing. But at some point you have to realize that it's compiled with the singularity, with the universal karma of everything. Yeah, sorry if that's a little bit highbrow. I know it's 21 minutes. Geez, I hope that you guys enjoy it. Give me likes and comments on the video. Yeah, so the North Node, let's talk about it now. And if you guys aren't really bored, then go check out the Vimeo. The Vimeo, if you get the whole package, the Virgo video is kind of the same thing. Virgo got this in the same position. So the North Node is in Cancer, and I wholeheartedly believe that we're moving from a position of real coldness and unsympathetic energy to a very compassionate energy. And even though that beacon is quite weak because there's no outer planets around it supporting it, I do feel as though people like Cancers, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, whatever you have in Cancer, that's your responsibility to tell other people to come this way. Let's be compassionate and sympathetic. So it's that whole level of heart opening that Cancers kind of champion. And your golden moment is going to be June, July, and August-ish, beginning of August, as these planets go through. So we're looking at June 9th, 2019. Let's just press play, and then you can watch it happen. And then that's all I need to say about the North Node, is that it's understated. Your transits help it for everybody to see. You're helping everyone to get out of their karma and look forward towards a compassionate resolution. I just happened to look on the bottom, and when I do that, I mention it to you guys. But you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is moving into Capricorn. So everything that you sacrifice this year for the purpose of this compassionate, understanding energy, I think you'll get that reconciled by December 2nd, when Jupiter moves into Capricorn and the solar eclipse happens in that point. That's going to be a conjunction between the Sun, Jupiter for the second time this year, and for the first time next year. And it's going to be like this magic moment, the solar eclipse on the 26th of December, with the Sun and Jupiter and the nodes and the moon, of course, creating the solar eclipse. Beautiful energy. So if you don't get paid out for this energy, right? If you don't get compensated, if it's truly a sacrifice, and for it to be a sacrifice, it has to be selfless. It can't be like I sacrifice because I know I'm gonna get like some good coming out of this for me. No, that's not how it works. And let's see if I can fix this a little bit. I'm probably gonna ruin it. No, okay, good. so bright in here. Okay, so let's get this fast before the sun ruins everything. Let's see your north node, okay? So here we go. We have the Hanged Man again. Watch Virgo. And it's Kitty Corner again. My goodness, crazy town, okay? And then we have the Six of Pentacles. This is wild, man. And this was... Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. So this is crazy. If you haven't watched the Virgo video, go watch it, because you literally have the same cards in opposition in the same way that Virgo does. That's wild to me. Okay, so we have Six of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Swords. Okay, this is the North Node. And the Tower again. Girl, look at this. Wow, this is going to need some clarifying. Watch your words. Okay, so I feel like the North Node of Cancer, right? The direction you're supposed to go. I feel as though there's a temptation to take money in order to... temptation to ruin the impasse of a perspective leads to complete annihilation, the end of a situation completely. I wonder if there is a... It feels like somebody's paying someone off to do something gnarly, you know? And maybe it's a humbling point to go through this kind of betrayal, massive betrayal, that will lead to setting the point of defense, setting the point of confidence, setting the point of confidence, setting the point of confidence, and the leadership piece, you know, for everybody else. So it's like something massive is coming your way. My goodness. Watch your words. Isn't that watch your words, Cancer? The North Node in your first house. I feel as though the only thing that exists in this is reciprocity too. So this is personal boundaries, Queen of Pentacles. This is reciprocity, which means reciprocity means what you give, what you take. And so I feel like there's two people in this, and they are kind of suspended in their current circumstances, right? And so I feel as though the past is connected with all sorts of different nuances, big questions, big ticket items. The future is set with... You have to let go of the crazy mind. You have to let go of the mind that is in some way... You have to let go of the mind that is in some way breaking down as a result of consequences in your life. And at some point you have to release that so that you can go on living. So the rational mind will... I know this sounds really like bleak, but like the rational mind is going to fail you this transit. And you can't look to the rational mind for answers in situations, because I think that you're reaching an impasse, a logical impasse, and I feel like that's going to severely break down. That's going to severely fall apart and shatter. And I feel like there's going to be a massive catharsis with this. A catharsis is a resolution, an emotional resolution to the predicament that you're facing. And it's going to feel very kind of, how do you say? It's going to feel very like against yourself. It's going to be very hard to pull in this direction. See, this is December 2019 when Jupiter and the South Node are there. The sun's moving in right before the eclipse, and the moon's somewhere over here. Yeah. So yeah, so I feel this is crazy. I don't even know what to tell you guys. I don't want to pick anything else so as not to destroy the energy. But man, oh man. Well, we'll see where this happens. I feel as though the this to me looks like a complete breakdown of the way that you look at things. Let's just put it that way. Watch your words. Things are not what they seem. That's what it says. And I think that you come to realize that, and that's why biting your tongue and watching your words is a healthy thing, because soon enough you will see a greater truth evolving, right? So it's like, I always do that to myself. I always speak before something comes to light, and then when I realize what it is, it's like, oh, whoops, you know, there goes my moon in Aquarius shooting tongue darts again. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit of that passing judgment, and then having that judgment, what you thought was so horrible. This is beautiful. Sorry, it took me a minute because it's so intense. Because we have 2 towers, 2 hanged men, right? What you thought was really bad isn't bad. That's what this is saying. You thought something was just dead and done, you know, whatever, that you had to wait for the sunrise. I think you're going to have a massive breakthrough, and I think it's going to be like ecstasy. And I don't mean the drug. I mean in religion, when there's this kind of emotional breakthrough. It's not ecstasy. It is like ecstasy, but it's almost like rapture. That's the word. It's like, I think you will have a rapture, not a rupture, a rapture, and a deep understanding of what is important in life. So you have to give me a like for this, because this is beautiful, and I don't want to mess with this energy. And I think that this is just like a short-term band-aid for you that solves that puts off the greater understanding. I think you could have had a mental breakdown if you didn't receive this kind of physical aspect of things, right? So you would have just not been able to handle it, because so far this is by far the most deep and intense reading that I've seen, right? Yeah. So I think your world's going to change. I think that this is what you have been learning for 7 years with Pluto in Capricorn. And I think that, mind your words, because what you're going to think about things after July and after December is not what you think about it now, you know, and not even after January 2019. So you progressively will learn so much more. It's a very like humbling transit. It's a very, how do you say, it's like a transit that has to do with like humility and becoming a subject, or becoming like at the mercy of the universe, and being open with an open heart to learn the lesson, because life is holding you there, you know. That's the direction. It's a holding pattern. You and Virgo have the same reading, very, very similar, and I think you answer for each other. I think Virgos should watch this, and Cancer should watch that, because I feel like it's reciprocal, like one reading answers the predicament of the other. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. You guys, check this out on Vimeo. Let's see what else we can find out. I don't really know if I can go any deeper. Like, this is as cohesive as it is, you know, as it can be, but let's find out. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.